welcome to
A podcast?
our very first podcast. I know I've been wanting to do this for ages, and I think finally it's actually awesome to finally get the opportunity to do this because I always set it off.
I don't think it's more like the opportunity. I think it's more of the mental capacity.
Yeah,
Everything is running super fast paced in the UAE, and we kind of have to keep up, and that has been super, super difficult.
exactly. So let's not blab about that. Let's jump straight into our podcast. Of course, it's called Bulo and Misfit, and I think we want to cover everything on health, fitness, and then also just a life in general. Yeah,
Yes, life in general. What is life in general?
exactly. Because like everybody puts on a front, you know, especially with everything happening on social media these days, absolutely crazy. And we just want to be as realistic as possible, even though we went through, or I went through a lot to clean up and make sure that everything looks really good. Um, but also just, like just basically be real and be us and not put up a front for anybody or for for anyone watching. This is a real
Is it though?
time. Oh yeah. So exactly like I said, we're going to cover everything health, fitness, and life in general related, and potentially bringing up in some guests.
Potentially it depends how I feel about
exactly,
the guests.
exactly. So let's see how that goes. But just to give everybody a background of who we are and what we do, I want to know, and the people want to know, who is Misfit?
Wow, what a big question. Who is Misfit? Um, I never ever used to call myself Misfit. It was just the order, the trainer's the order. But Misfit actually came about. It was a play on words, like you, uh, Misfit as in I wanna be fit, if you get what I mean. So yeah, that's what it came about to the name. And when my journey started with fitness, it didn't just start a year or 2 years ago. It started when I was figure skating. I started at a very, very young age, and that was kind of how things kind of grew for me and how I learned about health and fitness. Um, of course, things get super challenging, and you kind of learn to grow through that. And that's also something that I want to share. So that's just a small little bit about me. Small little. And now we want to know who's
I
Bulo.
think before I start,
Oh
I think
gosh.
you definitely cut it way too short. So, like she said, Misfit was a play on words, and the fit part was her being into fitness, but also she forgot the misfit part of her being a rebel. And I think that she's still being a rebel in gym because she still wants to deadlift as heavy as I deadlift. And she believes that one day she is going to lift heavier than me.
Again.
So you want to jump into that as well?
I just don't like to talk about me. I like to talk about things in general, but okay. So I've I love functional fitness, but like something that has been super passionate or that's been driving my passion is powerlifting. I mean, it's super new to me. I can lift the weight, but I haven't been training in that type of style. So that's kind of where we are with my type of training. Um, yeah, what else
I
do I need
think
to
I think
say?
I think it's also a mixture because you still love your functional fitness, you love lifting heavy, and now that you've gotten back into ice skating,
Things have
things
changed.
that your training has also changed. So
Yeah.
how has that changed?
So we have cut back on the lifting. I mean, I do lift, and let me just say that I miss it so much, but it's all about agility and like really it's more functional than anything, but really all about moving fast, being quick, lots of trying to be graceful type of moves.
Grateful, graceful.
Graceful, that's what I said.
And then another question I have for you is a lot of people or most of your clients that come to you, they come to you, I think lately more for one reason. And this topic will definitely be something that we discuss about, but just touch on the topic that I want to mention, but I don't want to say too much.
So, my clients mostly come to me for PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. I was diagnosed with it a few years ago, and I needed to understand what was happening in my body at that time, and that's exactly why I studied and I literally researched, did everything I could to understand what the body was going through. And believe it or not, there's a simple formula to actually build through that, to actually get you through that. And I wanted to share that with the women, but it's so difficult to share something that is so personal for me. And that's kind of what I'm struggling with, but we'll get there. But yes, there is such a cool formula to build and to create a lifestyle, to really reclaim your life with PCOS. I feel so many women are struggling with that stigma of how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? I can't do this. I can't do that. I think we need to break away from that. So, yeah.
More coming soon on that. And then I think something that not a lot of people know what you've been through. Um, like I've mentioned at the start that people always see a front, and I feel like sometimes yes, we do put up a front, especially on Instagram. It's easy to do that, but something. But you've only mentioned it once on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I feel like why not mention it on our very first podcast?
I
As
feel
well.
like this podcast is all about me. I mean, we can change it, we can. But it is actually talking about growing up with epilepsy. There's not really much to say about it. I had to really go through a lot, especially with school and sports, and doctors kept telling me, you can't do this. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. That's also where the rebellious part of Misfit comes in. Um, but yeah, I had chronic tonic seizures, which was super wild. But yeah, I lived with it for so long. And alhamdulillah, I've been seizure free for a very, very long time. And yeah, hopefully I get to share a little bit about that. I've come to terms with my epilepsy, so it's very interesting now to share things about it. I don't want to, but like I will. If it's gonna help someone, I will.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is it about me still?
I think that's all there for now. There's much more to elaborate and speak about, but I think people should know by now or get an understanding of who you are and where you come from.
I think I've been as open on Instagram as I possibly can. What I share is things that I'm comfortable with sharing. It's not that I don't want to share, it's just that um, some things are not yet, I'm not yet ready to share, or it's a little too personal to share. But there's so many things that we just don't want to as yet. And maybe along the line, when we are in a better headspace, when we have our things sorted, we can share and laugh about everything that we have been going through.
Yeah.
So I feel like everyone wants to know, who is Bulo?
Oh goodness, I don't know about that, but okay. I think that for me is also like a big question.
I think for everyone,
Yeah.
it's a big question. Like, who are you?
Yeah, I think so as well. But I'm just a plain simple young man from Cape Town, South Africa. Uh, went to go on to study sports science, and I'm a mommy's boy. Um, and I got married very young, but Alhamdulillah, I'm happy about that. And I married a very beautiful woman, Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Um, and I think I'm also someone who has a big passion for the health and fitness industry, but also teaching in general. Like I love teaching as well.
So tell us how you got into the health and fitness industry. Where did it all start for you?
For me, I was a skinny young boy at high school. I was super skinny. So those who know me from high school are gonna be like, yeah, we know. And I wanted to actually change my physique. I wanted to look better at that time. But at the same time, um, how I got into the health and fitness industry was just for my passion for sports and for um, martial arts because I did karate at that time, and I played hockey as well. So me loving sports is how I got into the health and fitness industry.
You touched on something that I want to ask about.
Oh goodness!
So tell us about, don't just tell us a little bit about your karate journey.
So karate journey, how it started was basically me just having a temper, a very bad temper
I
from a
think that's
young
how they
age.
all start.
And my dad just decided, you know what, let's put you in karate classes and that's gonna help you. So that's how I started. And then from there, I went on to becoming a black belt and went on to represent my country at the Commonwealth Games, not once but twice.
Yeah, I went to the Commonwealth Games, but don't want to teach his wife.
But
Not once,
anyways,
but all the time.
yeah. But now she also doesn't want me to teach her. Now she's actually looking for
I'm
another
looking
teacher.
for a teacher if you want to teach me.
um. So yeah, that's basically my karate journey all summed up. Really sweet and short and sweet.
You're lying. Is that all?
Yeah, like a
Tell us more.
okay. So my karate journey was very close to my heart. Like it's something that I was and I still am very passionate about. Um, my two senseis that I've had in my career have absolutely changed my life, and I love them to bits for help shaping the man that I am today, and like basically got me to where I am today. So yeah, in short and sweet, that's about my karate journey.
So just for everyone that wants to know, what type of training have you been doing since your love for bodybuilding and things?
So when I got to the UAE, and when I started my job, I actually got an injury. So I like twisted my knee and I had to change my training completely. And I had to basically adapt with a knee injury. So I had to step down from the heavy weights, which was not easy. Like when I train, I love going heavy. You know this. I love going heavy, and I needed to basically retrain my brain to tell me that I need to just take it easy. I need to slow down, and I need to focus on more conditioning than just going heavy. So finding my joy again for training, instead of just lifting heavy and lifting to look good. So now I had to actually strengthen myself, strengthen all my muscles and my ligaments around my knee, so that I'm able to squat again, and yeah, just basically adapting my training from heavy lifting to recreational purposes or training for recreation?
I think it was a lot of rehabilitating. A lot. I know for some like fitness professionals, they really tend to neglect this. They just want to
Like myself.
train and they don't like focus on rehabilitation. It's so important. And that's what he missed. And I can tell you this, he missed it a lot because I
Oh
was
man.
telling that he needs to do it. And I like to have support, especially when I am doing heavy lifts and I couldn't ask him to help me. So it was very boring.
Yeah, but that just shows that you have to listen to your body. Like
Exactly.
for like it's so easy to go to the gym and get an injury in gym if you don't listen to your body. And for me, I couldn't even squat with the ball. Like that's how bad my knee pain and my knee injury was. So I really had to tell myself like it's okay to just squat with no weights. And like for me, that's a big thing. Like I can't even see myself squatting with no weight. And I had to learn the hard way of how to do that.
It was very impressive for me
Um,
though because I was lifting heavier weights than him.
Whatever. But it wasn't easy for me because like in my head and my mind space at that time, I was just beating myself up all the time. And I needed to tell myself that I'm doing this for a reason. I need to strengthen my muscles to get back to where I want to be. Not where I need to be because that would be something completely different. So where I want or where my body is capable of being at again. So yeah,
I think like in general both our trainings have really changed.
definitely.
We just don't do it to have like a physique anymore. It's I mean, if we wanted to, we can.
Hmm.
We just
Definitely.
it's not the goal anymore. We want to share a lot of what we've been working on and really help people. I think the goal now is to share more of how we can help people rather than focusing on our own like physique, like a
Hmm.
physical physique. I mean, there's a lot goes into just like recreational
Oh yeah,
training.
definitely. And I also feel like a big thing that has come from, or I feel like everyone's training has changed. Why? Because of the mental capacity. And I definitely just want to touch on that as well. Like for me, in my knee injury, that put me, I wouldn't say in a depressive state, but it put me in a setback. Like I was negative on myself, and that's a mental capacity from gym because I know I can squat 140 kgs, and now I'm squatting not even the bar, which is only 20
20.
kgs. So when especially when people start now, they also think of, oh, this guy's lifting so heavy, like, oh, let's go, like I also want to push that weight, but it's not about that because I've seen so many guys look absolutely amazing with amazing physiques and they don't lift close to what I'm lifting right now even after my knee injury. And it just put your head at a good space, and I feel like that's how what we are trying to accomplish now is to train, but train in a like with a good mindset, number
Train
one,
with a
and
purpose.
train with a purpose.
Be
That's a big
mindful
one.
about our training.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's a big shift when you're not training towards looking like something.
Oh
It's
yeah.
such a big shift.
Definitely.
But you also kind of have to take time to celebrate your body in some way. I feel
Hmm.
like everyone's kind of just punishing their body because they look a certain way. And I really like, personally, I want to change that stigma.
Hmm.
And yeah, I want to focus on more of lifestyle things, especially in the UAE.
Oh yeah. Definitely. And also like how just helping people change the mindset from, whenever we get clients like, oh, I want to lose 10 kgs by in 3 months time. Okay, cool. It might be achievable, but what are the methods or what are you doing to help yourself get to that point, you know. And I think one of the biggest things for anything that you start is consistency. That's the biggest thing. Like, especially because this is our very first podcast, it's going to put a lot of pressure on us. But I would love to be consistent with this podcast so that we can get out more content and that we can share what we want to share with you guys, and hopefully that can help you guys on your journeys as well.
Yes. So on that note, we're gonna love and leave you, and we just hope that you stay tuned because our next podcast is going to be about how we got to the UAE and what we're planning to do here. So if
Big
you
things.
want to know, you're gonna have to
Oh
subscribe.
yeah. So please, guys, it would help us a lot as well. And I feel like, we just your friendly neighborhood friends that you can listen to, you know.
He's going
So
Spider mode.
looking for brownie points. Anyways, guys, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and then also leave a comment. So if you have
Any
any questions,
questions? Put it in the comments, and then maybe in our next podcast we can share some of the answers for you.
yeah. Peace, guys.